The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Sri Lanka has seen an increase in traffic fine payments since GovPay, the state digital payment platform, was implemented in the Western province. Foreign investors bought Sri Lanka government securities for a fourth straight week, with the offshore holding in local bonds surging to near two-year highs. The Colombo bourses kicked off a fresh trading week with positive numbers on both the ASPI and S&PSL20. And shares of FedEx rose after the parcel giant's first quarter results surprised Wall Street.
From Studio 24C, here's Anuradi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Sri Lanka has seen an increase in traffic fine payments since GovPay, the state digital payment platform, was implemented in the Western province, according to an official involved in the initiative.
Traffic fine payments via government pay continue to climb, with yesterday recording the highest volume since the Western province went live, Harsha Purasinghe, board director of ICTA, said on the social media platform X. Government pay let citizens and businesses make digital payments for government services like taxes, fines and utility bills through banks and digital wallets. The initiative is a collaboration between Lanka Pay and the Information and Communication Technology Agency, Purasinghe said. While government pay is delivering unmatched convenience and transparency for citizens, Sri Lanka Police plans to introduce a demerit point system in the future alongside digital payments. Last week, the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority joined government pay, allowing tourism industry operators across the country pay the tourism development levy and other payments through their bank's internet and mobile banking portals or any fintech app connected to government pay.
The Industry Expo 2025 ended yesterday, recording a huge public attendance this year, organized by the Ministry of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development in collaboration with the Industrial Development Board of Sri Lanka. The exhibition was held from the 18th to the 21st of September, showcasing the entire industrial sector with the aim of steering the country towards an export-oriented production economy. The primary objective of this exhibition was to seek solutions to the numerous issues and challenges faced by the country in industrial development. It also seeks to introduce key contributors to the promotion of the national product at a national level, recognize and appreciate their contribution to the country's development before the public and other stakeholders, and cultivate a positive outlook towards the entrepreneurial community. In addition, the exhibition encouraged public interest in entrepreneurship to create opportunities for industrialists to initiate and expand businesses and provide motivation towards those ends. Sri Lanka's central bank said it was conducting a survey aimed at assessing public awareness of the Sri Lanka Deposit Insurance Scheme.
The survey will be conducted on behalf of CBSL by an external firm, MOS Kantara Lanka Private Limited, through the use of enumerators. CBSL said it aims to reach a broad segment of the population from September 2025 to November 2025. This is part of the financial sector safety net strengthening project funded by the International Development Association of the World Bank. The CBSL said it would like to assure that the information collected will be used solely for the purpose of this survey and will remain confidential. As such, they request cooperation in responding to the survey questionnaire. The Deposit Insurance Scheme is operated under the Deposit Insurance and Resolution Department of CBSL.
Foreign investors bought Sri Lanka government securities for a fourth straight week in the week ending on the 18th of September, with the offshore holding in local bonds surging to near two-year highs, according to central bank data, amid a surge in global investor appetite for government bonds. Foreign investors bought a net 4,988 million rupee or $16.63 million worth of government securities in the week ending this Friday, extending the inflows to a net 13,707 million rupee in the 4 weeks. Government bond funds globally saw a surge in demand as they received $2.75 billion in the largest amount in 17 weeks. Foreign holdings in Sri Lanka's rupee bonds were at 120.3 billion rupees on the 18th of September, their highest since December 2023, according to official data. Sri Lanka suffered an outflow of 10.1 billion rupees in the 2 weeks soon after Trump's tariff declaration in the first week of April, and the rupee has fallen slightly since then. We're going in for a short commercial break. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo bourses kicked off a fresh trading week with positive numbers on both the ASPI and S&PSL20. The positive sentiment is expected to continue throughout the week. For further insights on this, we have Dilhari Dias from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Starting the week with a green note, the Colombo Stock Exchange continued its bullish movement from the previous week, recording a more than average turnover by the end of the session today. The all share price index posted a gain of around 171 points and closed at 21,256. John Kells Holdings, CT Holdings, Senkatikala Finance PLC, Commercial Bank and Valuable One were the leading positive contributors to the index. Both retail and high net worth participation was high, while positive investor sentiment was predominantly seen towards construction sector and larger hotel sector counters. The turnover stood at 8.1 billion rupees, reflecting an increase over the monthly average of around 7.5 billion rupees. In terms of sector-wise contribution to turnover, capital goods took the lead with a share of 45%, while banks and diversified financial sector followed behind with a combined contribution of 28%. The top three gainers were Exterminators PLC, Senkatikala Finance Company PLC and Single Finance Lanka PLC, whilst the top three losers were SMB Finance PLC, Sierra Cables PLC and Arpico Insurance PLC. Thank you.
The week ahead, the Colombo Stock Exchange is expected to move in a positive trajectory. However, certain selling pressures may threaten for a mixed week at the markets. For further insights on this, we have Ranjan Ranatunga from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo bourse commenced the week on a strong footing, with the all share price index gaining by 170 points and the S&PSL20 index gaining by 64 points to close the day at 21,227 and 6,060 respectively. Moreover, the increased activity was also evident as the turnover surpassed the 8 billion mark for the day. The positive sentiment surrounding the market was driven largely by the confirmation of the rating upgrade to Sri Lanka's foreign sovereign credit rating to CCC+ from selective default with a stable outlook from S&P rating agency. Looking ahead, we expect current sentiment to continue with investor interest spread across the board. However, amongst the key active sectors, we believe banking, non-banking financial sector, consumer, leisure and construction are expected to be the key. Meanwhile, turnover levels are expected to remain elevated with investor participation visible from retail, high net worth and institutional investors. Thank you.
Gold prices advanced in Asian trade today, remaining close to last week's record highs as the prospect of more U.S. interest rate cuts after the Federal Reserve's recent move buoyed the outlook for bullion. Spot gold rose 0.3% to $3,697.70 an ounce, while gold futures rose 0.7% to $3,733.10 an ounce. Spot prices hit a peak of $3,707.70 an ounce last week. Markets remained biased towards bullion before several more key U.S. economic readings this week, including the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. But gold was kept off record highs by some resilience in the dollar, which recovered from its weakest levels in over 3.5 years. Gold's recent record highs came as Fed cut interest rates by 25 basis points last week in a widely telegraphed move. Spot platinum rose 0.8% to $1,419.90 an ounce, while spot silver rose 1.3% to $43.64 an ounce. Among industrial metals, benchmark copper futures on the London Metal Exchange rose 0.1% to $10,001.10 a ton, while COMEX copper futures rose 0.1% to $4.63 a pound. Oil rose today, bouncing from the previous losing week as traders weighed the potential impact of fresh European Union measures aimed at curbing Russia's energy revenues and a series of Ukrainian strikes on energy infrastructure. Brent oil futures expiring in November rose 0.2% to $66.79 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 0.3% to $62.56 per barrel. Brent futures slipped nearly 0.5% last week amid pressure from President Donald Trump to push prices lower. The European Commission proposed its 19th package of sanctions against Russia, which would impose penalties on traders and refineries and petrochemical firms in third countries, including China, that breach existing rules on Russian energy imports. The Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated slightly against the US dollar today compared to last Friday. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar has increased from 298 rupees and 27 cents to 298 rupees and 65 cents, while the selling rate has also increased from 305 rupees and 80 cents to 306 rupees and 17 cents. However, the Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated slightly against a basket of foreign currencies, while it has depreciated against Gulf currencies. With that, let's take a closer look on how the Sri Lankan rupee has performed against other major global currencies. Going in for a short commercial break. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Sun Trading Enterprises, together with its design and manufacturing arm IDSF, iDesign Studio Factory, has inaugurated a state-of-the-art experience center in Colombo, featuring the first ever Fenesta showroom in Sri Lanka.
With this launch, Fenesta, India's largest windows and doors brand, makes its debut in the Sri Lankan market, establishing the Experience Centre as a landmark destination. It unites the complete spectrum of premium fenestration, world-class built-in materials, and bespoke interiors, all under one roof. Designed to inspire, the showroom offers customers an immersive journey through Fenesta's portfolio of contemporary designs and versatile solutions, helping them make confident and informed choices for their living spaces. With over 2 decades of expertise, the House of Trading has grown into a trusted procurement and project partner, from infrastructure and water supply systems to core construction materials, luxury interiors, furniture, and MEP products. Also a revolutionizing BLDC energy-saving and smart fan brand by the name Atomberg Fans was also launched for the very first time in Sri Lanka. The Colombo Experience Centre reflects this breadth while also creating a platform to showcase globally recognized brands alongside locally manufactured solutions for homeowners, architects, and developers.
Kalani Valley Plantations PLC, part of Haley's Plantations, has appointed industry veteran Seneka Alawathigama as Director and Chief Executive Officer. Alawathigama was also appointed as a Director to DPL Plantations Limited, Kalani Valley Resorts Limited, Marlborough Teas Limited and Kalupahana Power Company Limited. With over 40 years of experience in the plantation sector, Alawathigama began his career at the Sri Lanka State Plantations Corporation before joining Thalakale Tea Estates PLC at its inception. In February of 2020, he was appointed Director CEO, leading the company to significant milestones in sustainability, market growth and operational efficiency. With his extensive expertise, proven leadership and influence within the industry, Alawathigama's appointment marks a new chapter under the leadership of Dr. Roshan Rajadurai, and Alawathigama KVPL aims to further strengthen its market presence, elevate product excellence and drive innovation while continuing to create shared value for stakeholders. Haley's Fentons Limited and Haley's Electronics Limited have secured the Authorized Economic Operator Tier 1 status officially awarded by Sri Lanka Customs.
This globally recognized certification, established under the World Customs Organization's SAFE framework of standards, highlights both companies' unwavering commitment to supply chain excellence, regulatory compliance and operational integrity in international trade. Securing AEO Tier 1 status required meeting stringent eligibility standards covering legal compliance, governance discipline, and supply chain security. This recognition reflects the company's long-standing culture of operational integrity and accountability, underpinned by the governance principles upheld across the Haleys Group. This certification marks a significant milestone in the ongoing efforts of Haleys Fentons Limited and Haleys Electronics Limited to uphold service excellence, strengthen trust, and drive greater value creation for their customers. By aligning with globally recognized best practices in supply chain management and compliance, both companies reaffirmed their commitment to delivering seamless, reliable, and future-ready solutions that elevate customer experience and long-term partnerships.
To spotlight the next generation of tech innovators, 99X has reaffirmed its commitment to nurturing young talent by partnering with SLIIT as the technical and financial sponsor of DevQuest 2025. 99X has long driven this vision across the tech industry, creating opportunities for young developers to test their skills, grow, and take on real-world challenges. This year, the commitment reached new heights as 99X's partnership helped the competition gain recognition on a global scale. In its third international edition, DevQuest 2025 reached a new milestone by drawing nearly 300 teams from 14 countries across 5 continents, making it the most globally diverse edition to date. Organized under the tertiary category of SLIIT CodeFest, the competition continues to provide a dynamic platform for students and aspiring engineers to address real-world coding challenges. This year's event featured participants from Australia, Bangladesh, Canada, Ethiopia, Finland, India, Malaysia, New Zealand, Pakistan, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Thailand, United Kingdom, and Zimbabwe. 99X has long been a strategic partner of DevQuest, powering the competition through its DevGrade platform. GS Evo Motors Limited, part of the GS Group with over 3 decades of automotive excellence and the exclusive authorized distributor of JM-EV electric cars in Sri Lanka, launched the JM-EV EV Easy range at an event held at Water's Edge recently.
The revolutionary EV electric cars are unveiled in collaboration with Japanese trading giant Itochu Corporation or JM-EV. The launch marks a pivotal milestone in Sri Lanka's transition to sustainable mobility, bringing to market a new generation of electric cars defined by cutting-edge technology, elegant design, and zero-emission performance. With a focus on South Asian road conditions, the EV comes with enhanced ground clearance, tuned suspension, advanced safety, and superior driving comfort, setting a new benchmark in the local market. Specifically tested and calibrated for Sri Lankan roads and climate, the EVC delivers an impressive 500-kilometer driving range on a single charge. It comes with an 8-year, 150,000 kilometers battery warranty and a 6-year, 150,000 kilometers general vehicle warranty, ensuring long-term reliability and peace of mind. The car also supports versatile charging options, from convenient home AC charging via well-mounted standard plugs to DC fast charging at public stations, minimizing downtime for drivers. Developed by JM-EV, a global leader in new energy vehicles and a subsidiary of Jiangxin Motors Corporation, the EV series stands out for its blend of style, intelligence, and performance. The launch event was attended by senior delegates from JM-EV and Itochu Corporation, alongside prominent leaders from Sri Lanka's automotive, energy, and sustainability sectors. The partnership underscores a shared commitment to innovation, accessibility, and environmentally responsible transportation in Sri Lanka.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stocks were a mixed bag, with Japanese shares rebounding from prior losses despite a hawkish Bank of Japan, while Indian technology stocks slid on US President Donald Trump's crackdown against a major work visa category. The Nikkei 225 and Topix indexes rose 1.5% and 0.9% respectively after falling from record highs on Friday. South Korean stocks also outperformed most of their Asian peers, with the Kospi adding 0.9%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell for a third straight session from a 4-year high amid sustained profit-taking in local tech names. China's Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 and Shanghai Composite indexes were flat. Australia's ASX 200 rose 0.4%, while Singapore's Straits Times index was flat. India's Nifty 50 index opened mildly negative. Australia's number 2 telecom carrier Optus said it would cooperate with investigations after 4 people died following a technical failure that disrupted emergency call services for 13 hours.
Optus, Australia's second largest telecom carrier, promised on Saturday full cooperation with official investigators after an outage disrupted emergency call services for 13 hours. 4 people died amid the technical failure, including an 8-week-old boy. The disruption took place on Thursday during a firewall upgrade for the network, the company said. Around 600 customers in 2 states and Australia's Northern Territory were potentially affected. Optus has now completed welfare checks on these individuals, Roux said. For those they couldn't reach, the checks have been handed over to police, he added. The Australian government has labelled the failure as, quote, completely unacceptable and has vowed to investigate.
Shares of FedEx rose after the parcel giant's first quarter results surprised Wall Street, driven by strong domestic deliveries and cost-cutting measures that offset a tariff-induced decline in international volumes.
Shares of FedEx jumped Friday morning after the delivery company surprised Wall Street with first quarter results that beat expectations, fueled by strong domestic deliveries and cost-cutting. The parcel giant has leaned on efficiency measures and tighter cost controls, including parking planes, closing facilities, and merging units, as it works to slash billions of dollars from its balance sheet. Overall average daily volumes rose 4% in the quarter, as strong summer holiday demand lifted U.S. parcels, countering a 3% drop in international exports, and revenue per package climbed 2%. The good news comes on the heels of FedEx ending its 2-decade partnership with the U.S. Postal Service last year, a contract that had consistently weighed on earnings, with high costs and thin margins.
And that's all we have for you tonight on the Nightly Business Report. Join us again tomorrow for more business updates across the globe. If you have missed any of today's programs, you can always rewatch by catching us on our YouTube page, youtube.com/otherthaninenglish, and do send us your feedback on feedback.8024english@derana.lk. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.